Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news here at noon. Police make 2 arrests in a years-long murder investigation of Egypt Covington. We'll have the very latest. But first, still too close to call. The race for the White House hangs in the balance 2 days after Election Day, with several states still up for grabs. Thank you for joining us this noon. I'm Rhonda Walker, and we do want to get straight to things as to how they stand on the race to 270 electoral votes. Looking at the map right now, you can see that Joe Biden is leading President Trump 264 electorates to 214. Several battleground states have yet to declare a winner, as ballots are still being counted, and those counts could last through Friday. That includes Nevada, where a win for Biden would actually put him exactly at 270 electoral votes. We're expecting an update this afternoon from there. Pennsylvania, on the other hand, still too early to call because there is still a lot of votes left to count. A win here by Biden would also push him over 270 electoral votes. In Georgia, where the president's lead over Biden is narrowing, like in Pennsylvania, this is a must-win for President Trump for him to have a chance at reaching 270 electoral votes. Here at home, with 99% of the votes in, Joe Biden winning Michigan, flipping the state back to Democrats after President Trump won in 2016. As the ballots continue to be counted across the country, protests are breaking out near offices where those counts are taking place. You are getting a look at protests in Nevada, in Arizona. Right now, protests are outside of the TCF Center in downtown Detroit as well. Many were trying to get inside of those spaces where the counts were being made to try and stop the officials from counting. Other rallies are also being held across the country, making sure that every vote is counted. The ballot counting at the TCF Center is done, but drama is still happening. We want to get out to Hank Winchester, who is standing by with news of a brand new lawsuit. What's this one over, Hank?
And Rhonda, you're right. It's drama and legal challenge Thursday. Welcome to it. Let me give you a live look behind me. You can see that there are many Trump supporters here that have now been moved outside of the TCF Center. A lot of these people, along with some Democrats, were downstairs yesterday that were working to make their way inside the area where the votes were being counted because they believed on both sides, Republicans and Democrats, that the process being carried out was not a fair one. So let's get to some of the legal challenges right now. The Trump team, as you know, had filed suit in Michigan working to stop the counting because they felt that it was not fair and legal. The Secretary of State has fired back, saying that there's really essentially nothing to stop, that the counting is now over here in Michigan. In fact, we have a statement from the Attorney General that I want to share with you that we received a short time ago. It reads, Michigan's elections have been conducted transparently with access provided for both political parties and the public, and using a robust system of checks and balances to ensure that all ballots are counted fairly and accurately. There's also a new affidavit that's come to light today, a woman who's come forward saying that she was here at the TCF Center and she was being told, she claims, by election officials to change the date on ballots that were being brought in and that were being counted here at TCF. Again, the main headline from the Secretary of State is the counting here is over. So there's, in her view, nothing to legally challenge. That all the votes have been counted, that is now over. But we are being told that there was supposed to be an 11:30 hearing between the Trump team and Team Benson. That has now been moved about 30 minutes. So once we get much more on that hearing and information moving forward, we'll have it for you in later newscasts. Again, a pretty calm scene here behind me. These are people that are just making their voices heard. They were inside yesterday at the TCF Center. They've now been moved outside. Police on standby, out of camera shot, just keeping an eye on the situation. But so far, so good. We're live here at noon. Hank Winchester, back to you.
All right, Hank, thank you. And with more on the very latest in the 2020 presidential election, we want to get to Jay Gray this noon. He joins us at the White House with a closer look at the process as it continues to slowly unfold right now.
With counting and the courts now framing this election, officials in states still too close to call are urging patience.
We're trying to make sure that every ballot is counted.
But with the race for the White House slowing to a crawl,
Every vote counts.
Frustration is building on both sides of the ballot.
Unless the people stand up and make it clear that every vote has to count, the election will be stolen.
Without providing any evidence, online President Trump continues to allege fraud and cheating in several states, Twitter flagging at least one of the posts as disputed and possibly misleading. The president also ramping up fundraising efforts, texting and emailing supporters money the campaign will apparently use for ongoing legal challenges. In a written statement, the Biden campaign calls the litigation and recount strategy pathetic. The former vice president telling supporters he's confident as the process slowly unfolds.
We're winning enough states to reach 270 electoral votes needed to win the presidency. I'm not here to declare that we've won, but I am here to report when the count is finished, we believe we will be the winners.
Though it's still not exactly clear when that count will be finished. In fact, election officials in some states say they won't have the complete results until maybe sometime next week. Jay Gray, NBC News, the White House.
All right, Jay, thank you. Meanwhile, the hotly contested U.S. Senate race here in Michigan between Senator Gary Peters and John James. Peters defeating James by more than 60,000 votes. And James held an early lead in this race that disappeared once all of the mail-in votes started to be counted. This marks back-to-back defeats for John James, who also lost a close Senate race 2 years ago to Senator Debbie Stabenow. We are also still watching some other races. Democrat Haley Stevens wins re-election to Michigan's 11th congressional district over her Republican challenger, Eric Ashaki. Very close race there. For more on the race for the White House and the local races here at home, you can head to our website at clickondetroit.com. Updates are there on the homepage and also on the politics page. Now to the breaking news we're following out of Van Buren Township this noon. State police confirmed that 2 people have been taken into custody in connection with the death of Egypt Covington. She was shot and killed inside of her home back in June of 2017. Sean Lay is following the story for us. He spoke with family members just moments ago. Sean?
Rhonda, huge, absolutely huge development in the murder case of Egypt Covington, as you say. Beautiful young lady, just 27 years old, and it was shot to death inside her Van Buren Township home. You were right, that was June of 2017. The case, for whatever reason, in the hands of Van Buren Township, going ice cold in the hands of Van Buren Township police investigators for a couple of years. MSP, at the urging of Egypt's family, jumping in midsummer, or not that very long ago at all, and you have seen Egypt's picture. You have seen the billboards since 2017. This family in agony, wanting to know who killed Egypt Covington and the reason why she was found. It's all the details are awful, but tied up inside her home, and she was shot. And now the phone rang this morning. The phone of Egypt's brother, Dwayne Turner, and Dwayne's fiancée, Lindsey Brink. The phone rang this morning. It was an MSP investigator, and the investigator said, "We have made 2 arrests. 2 people are in custody." Here is the family's instant reaction to that.
First, who
Yeah.
who did it?
So many questions.
And just pure joy, and just I know I was shaking and just staring at Dwayne, and we both just started crying, and it was complete.
We laughed, we cried.
Yeah, complete excitement, and then. We've already gone through some of the emotions that I know are going to happen in this coming up, is the emotions of being super excited to being super angry.
You heard Lindsey say right there, her instant reaction was, who's in custody? That's part of the mystery right now, Rhonda, that it's unclear who's in custody. MSP has 3 days now, 72 hours to get those 2 people in front of a judge. And we're learning that more arrests in this homicide may be made as MSP continues their work on the case. But 2 in custody, instant reaction from family, much more from the family, and some of the details of what they're learning about this major break in the Egypt Covington case coming up later on Local 4 News. Back to you.
Well, after so much tragedy, it's nice to see the family so elated to have a major development like this. Sean,
That's right.
Thank you. We do want to switch gears and talk about the weather today, although we can't complain that we don't have much sun because it is warm. But if we could, kind of put those 2 together so we can really enjoy it, that'd be great, Brandon.
Then we're talking about record breakers, and we do have some of that in the forecast in that 7-day. But today we get stymied a bit by the cloud cover. As we look live here in Ann Arbor, you can see the overcast skies. Can't even rule out maybe a little spit and drizzle, but I think most of us just see the milky clouds and some hazy sun. You can see temps are nice, 60 to 65 degrees across the area. Winds at times will be a little breezy or gusty, but right now an occasional burst or gust of 16, 17 miles an hour, so the winds are a little lighter than yesterday. Temps will be a little cooler than yesterday's 72 due to the cloud cover. But Rhonda, I've got more 70s ahead. Again, some of those will be record breakers coming up.
All right, Brandon, sounds good. We'll see you here in a few. Can't wait. Now to the very latest on the coronavirus here in Michigan. Governor Whitmer is going to be providing an update to the state's response to this spike in cases this afternoon. This comes after the state reports its highest daily case total of COVID-19 since the pandemic started. 4,101 new cases in a single day and 19 more lives lost. Also this afternoon, we are expecting an update on coronavirus numbers once again, along with the governor's briefing that is set for 1:15, and you can watch that right here on Local 4. Still to come, strike averted. We're talking about General Motors reaching a deal with the Canadian trade union Unifor. We'll have the details next.